I'm usually antagonized, but for the most part, that's, like I said, we both see how we can both say the same thing though.
Yeah, the instinct. Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I like that. So I guess my follow-up questions for those are: one, what made you decide to get married instead of like just living together, staying together?
I'll let you go first.
Honestly, I mean, I got this. That goes back to the whole honestly, the way it just moves like a whirlwind thing, really, honestly. Because it went like quick and everything was just, and everything was just on the, I said, you know what, I'm going to ride out. We're going to see what happens. We're going to shake the dice. I think I've, you know what I'm saying, had enough of the judge of the character for the most part. Then, so I said, you know, in my own mind, let's go. She just said no.
Yeah, she could have. Yeah.
She could have said no. Like, hold up, do we just, you know, I don't know if I'm ready yet. But she didn't.
No.
Ultimately, for me, and you know, to be completely transparent, once my first marriage ended, I said I was never going to get married again. And again, this is before me even meeting Cedric. I was just like, you know what? I'm still kind of young. My kids can pretty much take care of themselves. I'm just going to go out there and have fun. Did that for a while, and I just like, you know what? I did it one time. I'm not going to do it again, because they already look at the statistics of us being, you know, men and women of color, and how marriage always pans out to be. And they always say, well, you know, it's always common that men and women of color, the rate with their marriage is very low. But of course, as we know, that's not true, because there's a lot of people out here, men and women of color, that have successful marriages and been married for years, years. Whether if they're just regular people, whether they're politicians, presidents, whoever it is, they've been married for years, and you know, they're in the public eye or even behind the scenes. They make it work. But I don't know, it was just something about Cedric where I ultimately end up changing my mind, saying, I will give this another shot. Did I think about it? Absolutely. Even after he proposed to me, I thought about it. I said, because it's just a proposal. I'm not committed to a marriage yet. It's just a proposal. It is, here it is. It's a maybe for both of us. And we'll see how things work out. So we did a lot of discussion behind closed doors about it, and I did a lot of soul searching within myself and talking to myself about it, as well as one of my very close friends, Patrice. Me and Patrice has been riding out since, oh my God, I don't know how many years. I'm gonna say since elementary school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And to this day, that's my ride or die. And you know, small token, she was actually the maid of honor in my first marriage, and she was also the maid of honor in my second wedding.
That's cute.
So, like, she's my ride or die, you know, regardless. She's always there for me through thick, thin, good, bad, or ugly, or indifferent. Yeah. So, yeah, it took a lot of soul searching for me to really say, you know, times are different now. Things are different now. Is this something that you want to commit to all over again? Do you want to sacrifice where it may work or it may not work again? And I took that ultimate leap of faith, and I just said, yes, I will try it.
Yeah. And you guys look amazing. I mean, you're trying to be humble here, Cedric. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
And I love it. And as like we're like, I guess, getting deep into like marriage a little bit, especially when it comes to like Black couples and the statistics, like what advice, whether if it's like for someone closer to my age or your age, whether you're starting marriage for the first time or getting remarried, a piece of advice that you would offer us?
I would say first and foremost, before you get into a marriage, make sure that both parties are financially stable. You know, make sure you're financially stable, because things can happen where right now you guys are dating, everything is going good, someone can end up losing their job, and ultimately sometimes that may affect their partner. Their partner may say, okay, well, we were going half on this, that, and the third, but now I have to do everything, and that partner may feel what's the word? They may feel, like I'm doing everything and you're doing nothing, and that can ultimately ruin a relationship. It can. So my suggestion would be, go into it financially stable, go into it understanding that a marriage is work. There's, again, good times, bad times, indifferent, whatever the case is. Understand that you every day, you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed, it's going to be work. Never go to bed angry. It's not going to make the next day even better. Can I admit I've gone to bed angry and we've tried to discuss things? Absolutely. But we're at a different time in our age and our timeline where the generation now is a little bit different. But do we try to make sure that we go to bed, making sure everything is good? Absolutely we do. Before either one of us close our eyes at night, we always kiss, good night, and then we go to sleep. And the same thing in the morning before we get up and leave for the day. It's have a great day, we kiss, and we go to work, and we meet back here, at the same time. God forbid we make it back here because, again, we know there's a lot that's going on outside. It's just outside. It's outsiding right now.
Yeah.
And not in a good way, as we all know. But yeah, you gotta have that open line of communication, financially stable, and have an open heart. That would be my advice.
And an open mind.
So, for you, what's the difference between having like open heart and open mind?
The open heart is allowing something that'll make you feel some type of way, but you don't allow it to affect you negatively. Even if it's negative, you try to process it. Like I said, and that's the part where the open mind comes in. Open mind, more or less, is about perspective. There's always too many. Like how many angles are there, and then how many angles that we're looking at. It's too many. Yours is not always right, but that doesn't mean that they're wrong either. That's the difference.
Yeah. No, I like that. I definitely like that. And I mentioned this before, that there's like a lot of people that inbox me about like, because they wonder if I'm married, they wonder if I'm in a relationship, because I talk about like, I guess a woman's perspective on love and dating and stuff like that. And I don't always know what to say to them. So you guys offering that like piece of advice from being, I guess, 11 years together definitely is helpful. But I know another thing that people would ask is like, how do I know I can take that step? Like, what is it within me that I'm like, okay, I could walk into this with this person.
What, walking into a marriage?
Yeah, like walking into walking into a marriage.
Both of you are going to have to come to that understanding, and it can't be one way. It has to be a two-way street. Both of you have to actually really sit down and really want it more than anything, because it cannot just be one person going into a marriage and putting their all into it while another person is only putting 60% into it, because it's not going to work. Both parties have to really want it. And you will know when you have it. Both parties will know when you have it. And you may know it before your partner knows, to be honest with you. Like, again, in the situation where we got engaged, he knew it before I knew, because, again, I didn't know he was going to propose to me. You know what I mean? Even though the love was there on both ends, regardless, with or without the ring, someone may know beforehand, but then it's up to the other person to say, you know what? Yes, I'm willing to go both feet forward with you and take this leap of faith, and we're going to work on it. We're going to make sure this relationship is grounded before we ultimately jump over that broom to get married, because you want to be in a marriage, hopefully, for the long term.
Yeah.
I would say, don't lie to yourself. If you thinking about it, but that self-doubt is going to be the difference between whether you go or not. And if you have self-doubt, it's something that you either know either about yourself or about your partner, that I want to marry, this sounds good, it looks great, the pictures, this going to be crazy, and we're going to be in relationships, but even with all that, tell yourself the truth about the person you're dealing with. Or they're gonna do vice versa. Now, if you get by all that, it's not nothing that's like, it's not anything that's so like detrimental that it be to your emotional stability and everything else. Then, yeah, I mean,
look for the red flags. There's always going to be red flags.
you don't gotta look for them.
They'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what about the people that, especially like in the beginning stages when everything's like sunshines and rainbows, and people like kind of blind themselves to like the feeling that they're having?
You're gonna have to learn, and that's okay to have those unicorns, that utopia of the unicorns and the fairy dust and all that good stuff and the glitter out there in the beginning. It's new to both of you, but reality, unfortunately, is gonna set in. It's gonna kick in. You will ultimately know the person, especially when either you start staying over that person's house or the person starts staying over your house. That's when you will ultimately get to really know a person, their character, and if you can live with a person. That is the ultimate thing. You will learn that, because as long as you are living in your space and he or she is living in their space, you guys will never learn one another. But by going into each other's space constantly and then ultimately trying to maybe move in together prior to, that's when you'll learn a person. And at that point, and I don't want to say it in a negative way, at that point, you know it's still not too late to get out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's no commitment of now you're married, you done spent X amount of dollars of having this grand finale of a party and inviting all your family and friends over, I mean, you know, to this big wedding gala, and then a year or two down the road, now you're getting a divorce.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's not the most ideal thing.
Yeah.
So you guys would recommend to take that step before marriage to move in together?
I suggested.
Me personally.
I suggested, you know, a lot of people do it differently now. They still live with their parents and then they get engaged and then they buy the house or move in the apartment or whatever the case is, and then get married and then move in together. You don't really know a person that way.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. That whole mantra, that whole system of thinking about that is also tied to, okay, we're not going to live together. That's like, they try to hold that as the same thing as, well, I ain't having sex before marriage. And you know what, there might be a small percentage of people that actually really tried it, but come on.
Yeah.
Y'all are smashing. So why not cohabitate? You know what I'm saying? Bring your responsibilities together. Then you already have some time trying to practice, not even practicing, actually have conflict resolution in real time. You'll see what people's triggers are. You'll see how they trigger you. You'll see the level of it is, can you take it? Or why do I feel like this? Because why do they make me feel like this now? Or you'll see, you might go through some things that, whether it's someone doing something sneaky or somebody did something with money, those two. And you see how people react to that. I mean, y'all can work through like those small little bumps. Then, hey, but you need to live together to do that. I mean, the worst case scenario, a year lease or whatever, because you planning on that probably just that 1 year. You ain't planning on that as the escape, but it's there. But y'all don't know everything by then, and sometimes you won't have to be there that whole time. You know. Yeah. But you wouldn't even get that far if you don't feel that as your person, unless somebody just that down bad. I mean, then maybe.
Well said.
But yeah, I'm not just I'm moving in with somebody bad, I smash a few times, or even that. No, no.
Yeah.
To live. Boy, listen. Anyway.
No, you're definitely right, and I guess what I'm like getting back from this is just like being intentional about like. When you're like being intentional about like taking that step before marriage, so you don't like get yourself in a hole basically.
You don't want to get caught up.
Yeah.
Because if you get caught up, that's a whole nother ball game. Because now you got to get out, and sometimes it's too late to get out, and that's when you get into like relationships of, say, someone being narcissistic or controlling or abusive, things of that nature. So that's why it's good to have that ability to live with that person, because the signs will be there. They will be there.
Like she would have known if I put my hands on women and stuff, or things like that. Like I'm not handsy. I don't do that. Well, I ain't have to denounce that, but
yeah.
I don't know.
No, do you think it's good for them, like for younger people, right, to go from like their parents' house to living together, or do you think that they should go from like their parents' house living on their own and then cohabit?
You need to be on your own for a while.
Definitely from
your
the door
parents'
on your
house to on your own. Then ultimately, once you find your person, you guys living together, and if you want to then take the next step, then get married. You need that alone time to adjust, to think about your well-being, what you want out of life, and how you're going to be able to commit not just to yourself, but when it's time for you to have a partner. You have to adult by yourself. I don't think it's a good transition for people to go directly from their parents' house directly into living with someone. I don't agree with that. I don't.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No, I've been living on my own for a while, and I think, like, obviously I'm not there yet, but I think you learn yourself, like, when you're by yourself, like how you manage.
Oh, no, you need isolation.
Yeah.
For sure.
You can't hide from you.
Yeah.
You need to isolate so you can stop running from you through work, through exercising, through vice, through everything. Sometimes you got to sit with you. And it's the best time, no matter what it feel like.
Yeah, you really learn a lot about yourself during that time.
Oh, yeah. I still do it to this day. We both do it, I'm sure. There's times where he's in one room and I'm in another. And that's the time sometimes I like to just be by myself. When he goes into work on the weekends, it's just like, even though I love my husband, it's just sometimes I'm just like, wow, now I gotta have a minute to myself. And it's the same like when I go out to do my pampering of myself, he has the house to himself where he can say, I'm here, I can be alone. Sometimes you just need
not long enough.
That's just
But just to have that space, even in your space together, but just to have that time in that space to really either to digress everyday life, the work life, marriage life, everything, just to have that moment to yourself and doing what you like to do.
Yeah. That's definitely good. So another question that I have is like, a lot of people nowadays, especially like with social media and just in general, they have like, some people have like a fear of marriage. Like, what would you say to people that are like kind of scared to take that step? Especially like nowadays with, I guess, like men specifically. They're just like, I'm afraid like this won't be successful when I lose everything. Or women saying like, hey, I'm afraid that I'm going to be stuck in a marriage, or that I'm gonna like, it's going to fail ultimately. I think there's a lot of negative views and opinions and emphasis on like it possibly going wrong, and that's what's creating the fear. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts on what you would say to people.
Well, the thing about it is people just need to understand what reality is. Get away from the social media, because a lot of people paint this beautiful picture because they see X, Y, and Z doing on social media. Social media is not real. It's not real. Being in the moment of yourself, being truthful with yourself, that is real life. If you think that a relationship is ultimately going to fail, whether it's starting a new relationship or getting into a marriage, then it may be something you need to look at within yourself. You may need to go and, speak to somebody or speak to a close friend or family. It doesn't necessarily have to be a medical doctor, psychologist, or whatever the case is. But you might have some underlying issues that is preventing you from wanting to take that next step. Everybody in life has some issues. We've all been through some sort of trauma growing up in our lives. Things different, some less more than others. That could be the underlying effect of that person not wanting to get married because of something he or she may have saw, something may have happened. But you need to fix that before you can take that next step. But when it comes down to this whole thing with social media, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. It's not real.
Yeah. What about you, Sandra?
Repeat the question.
Like, nowadays, there's like a fear of marriage, of like getting, especially like on, specifically since you're a guy, specifically like on the male side of like, I'll get into it and I'll lose everything. I have to pay alimony, all this other stuff, and it's just not worth getting into. What would you say to?
I mean,
yeah.
those are facts. I mean, I don't have enough of nothing to no alimony, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you going into that, if it's a natural fear of it, but then there's a fear of it. Is it because of the person that you probably have an idea, something within their character? Then why would you even think about getting married? Just don't. If it's that mind blowing and that stressful, then just don't. Just don't. And for the people that's really ready to jump, you know, you can if you got a few dollars, you set up the prenuptials and stuff, and they can meet right there. You still gonna look out and take care of it. But I'm just saying, as far as that, then go get married. But if not, you that afraid. If there's so many things outside of you can make you that afraid about something you've never done, then you just don't do it.
Great.
I think that's definitely good advice on both ends. But I guess like segueing into like the other question, kind of like tying into this is like, what did you think marriage was going to be, I guess this time around, before you got married? And then what do you think? And then like, what is it now that you are married?
I'll let you start.
The way that she framed her question, it was kind of like, it started more or less with you, maybe because of, I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm letting you start, because
so, like,
I've done
what did
it.
you think marriage was going to be before you got married? And then what do you think it is now that you are married?
Let's see. Oh, you know, when you married, you think we doing it all the time. No, I'm just playing. I mean, you gotta think that when you're younger, but you know as time went out, you know about that. But for the most part, you get your person. You can't equate for the different moments of time where I got on her nerves to a point of, you know what I'm saying, the aggravation line and vice versa. You can't even equate that at the beginning. That's the stuff you go through. You gotta have some. It's gonna be some points that are negative. Because negative, you're still moving.
Yeah.
Because you can only go to the positive after that. That's how I see it.